Welcome to the road to 1 million US dollars. Let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today, starting on this 4-hour time frame, because today we continued this crash to the downside. In fact, we have now crashed about 10% in just 2 days here. So even though the road to 1 million community has been on the right side of the trade, people are losing money right now, and it's just not very classy if you're going to be like parading around with your short trade here. So let's have a civil discussion in the comment section today. Anyway, let's get to the technical analysis here for today. Currently on this 4-hour time frame, Bitcoin is finding some short-term support on this descending trend line. Currently, the support is sitting at about 93.6K, but of course, do keep in mind that this trends down over time. Besides that, we are also potentially about to head into this big level of support, sitting from about 93K all the way down to 91,000 in the Bitcoin price. Overall, Bitcoin is clearly just in a downtrend here. So longing is obviously a very risky thing to do. Yes, even if this exact wick here turns out to be the bottom, it is still a risky thing to do right now regardless. One thing to take note of though is that the RSI is now very close to being in oversold territory on this 4-hour time frame. So for example, if you do see something like this where we actually end up going deeper into this oversold territory, potentially later today or tomorrow, then usually when that RSI is in oversold, there is limited room to the downside. And most often what you will see is that the RSI will start to reset back up. Now, the way the RSI actually resets to the upside is either by the price just chopping sideways, or potentially if you see some bullish momentum on that 4-hour time frame. Now, why am I telling you this? Well, let's say that you do see the RSI at like 20 or something like that, then take note of that if you're going to be opening up a short position at that time, because that will be more risky than if you are seeing the downtrend and there's still a lot of room to the downside in the RSI. It just adds a level of risk that wasn't there previously. Besides that, while we are actually looking at this RSI, I do want to take another look at this daily time frame with this downtrend that the RSI is currently in. As I mentioned in yesterday's video as well, so long as we are in this downtrend, longing is going to be a very risky thing to do. So again, if you're really looking to long or something like that, it wouldn't be a crazy idea to wait for some kind of breakout on this daily downtrend. Though do keep in mind that if you're going to use a setup like this, you aren't going to time the exact low. If Bitcoin does something like this and starts breaking out to the upside, we will not be at the lows where it was at, okay? So that is just something to keep in mind, but at the same time, it will be a higher probability setup if you have actually seen and confirmed this breakout first. So let me just show you something that I sent in the signals group earlier today here. And this is some not financial advice for this current market condition. At the time we were trading right here at about 95K to give you some context. So what I said was, don't try to play the game of trying to long the exact bottom for a swing trade. I still think longing now is a risky thing to do and will likely burn a lot of people. After I sent this, we actually went to 92K as I'm recording this video. The time for longs will come again, maybe soon, but look for actual confirmation like the break of the RSI downtrend on the daily time frame that I just showed you guys earlier, liquidity having been swept, for example, or maybe even a bullish divergence. And the next point, which I think is vital, is that my goal is always to try to be on the right side of the trade, so the bullish or the bearish trend for the majority of the swing. I'm not trying to time the exact tops or bottoms. So what am I talking about from some recent examples? Well, here at about 107K, we saw this rejection and we were already expecting this downside at the least to the bottom of this descending channel. Then from here, we created like this falling wedge type pattern, which we took all the way up to 100.5K. So again, here you can see that we went from about 93.2K, we captured the majority of the move, and we were on the right side of the trade for the majority of the time, but we did not get the exact low at, 91.5. Instead, we got it at 93.2, right? So now you see what I mean. Again, here we see this rejection at 102.4K. We were looking at this ascending trend line here. By the time we break this trend line at about 99K, we can say, okay, the trend is being broken. And now here we are shorting, we are making money on this move to the downside. That is what we have been doing on the channel here for months. And basically what happened 2 days ago that people were kind of upset with me about in yesterday's comments was that I pointed out this 102.5K resistance, saying like, hey, if we get a rejection from there, then we could get a move down to this ascending trend line. But of course, in that same video, I will also be talking about, well, what if it actually breaks this? Then we could be looking at this resistance here. And I think this is the problem with a lot of the comments that I get. It's like people telling me that I'm flip-flopping, or that, one day I'm bullish, the next day I'm bearish. I mean, I'm looking at the 4-hour time frame, guys. Like, if I see rejection here, I see a loss of support on this ascending trend line. Yeah, of course I'm going to be bearish the next day because I'm expecting further downside after we break the uptrend. But guys, give me some honest feedback. Tell me if I have been flip-flopping on this way up. Tell me if I've been flip-flopping on this way down. Tell me if I wasn't warning for this 102K level here. Please tell me, because I want to improve. Like, if I'm making these videos and people are only getting more confused by watching them, then what is the point? So please do let me know if I can improve my videos in any way. I would love to hear it. Either way, this has been today's market update. Thank you very much for watching once again, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.